Marley was dead, to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. But he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, was Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open, so that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold and dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge?
Stop that infernal caterwauling. Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my very door.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. A Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
God save you, Uncle.
Bah! Humbug.
Christmas? A humbug, Uncle? Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you? You're poor enough.
Well, what right have you to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough.
Bah!
Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, what else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas, a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt.
I just came to wish you a Merry Christmas,
Ah,
Uncle.
Merry Christmas. Much good may Christmas do you. Much good it ever has done you.
There are many things from which I derive good by, which I have not profited materially. I dare say, Uncle, Christmas among the rest. But I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time, and therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it.
God bless Christmas.
Silence! Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, I wonder you don't go into the Parliament. You talk enough nonsense.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. I ask nothing from you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I tried. A Merry Christmas to you,
Good
Uncle.
afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Where do you think you're getting off cutting me off, huh? Humbug.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob. And the missus. And to Tiny Tim.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fred. Same to you, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day, Bob.
Nonsense. Twaddle. Flummery. Talking of Christmas, and not to sixpences to jingle together in his trousers pocket.
Noel, 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 Noel.
Oh, what do you want?
I want to sing you a carol, sir, for a penny.
And do I? You miserable boy, would you presume to do that?
It's Christmas, sir, and I'm an orphan, sir. I must sing for my supper.
An orphan?
Yes, sir.
Just a little orphan boy, all alone, out in the cold, begging, wanting my money.
A little something, sir.
I'll give you something, all right. Hold out your hand and I'll give you this. Ah! Begging? Christmas, orphans, bah, humbug. Bells? Again? Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
The bell, fool! See to it!
Yes, sir.
Wolves, Merry Christmas. Wolves howling and a Merry Christmas.
It's for you, sir.
Of course it's for me. You're not receiving callers, are you? Show them in!
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe?
Have we the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years ago today.
Today?
This very night, as a matter of fact.
But the sign.
Is perfectly good as it is. Why buy another one? Gentlemen,
We have no doubt that Mr. Marley's liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
liberality.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and the destitute.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses?
There are many institutions in London, but the poor must work like slaves.
We wish we could say there were not.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I was afraid from what you said that something has occurred to stop them in their useful course.
Well, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth, since workhouses furnish little cheer to the multitudes.
What shall we put you down for?
Let me think right here. Nothing!
Nothing?
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make myself merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned, and they cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there. Many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population, don't you think? It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Good afternoon.
Very well.
Cratchit! Show these gentlemen out!
Good afternoon to you, sir,
And Merry Christmas.
and Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. This way, please. Sirs, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir! It isn't much, but it is all I can afford. But there are others in worse situations than I am.
You are a very generous fellow. I wish I might say so of your employer.
Cratchit, can you not hear me?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Well, to work then.
It's evening, sir.
Is it?
Christmas evening, sir?
Oh, you'll want all day tomorrow off, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to deduct half a crown from your salary for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, wouldn't you? Still, you expect me to pay a day's wage for a day of no work?
It's only once a year, sir.
Be here all the earlier the next morning.
I will, sir.
Then off! Off!
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
Ah, Christmas Eve, carolers. Bah, there, another day.
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with the long ends of his white comforter dangling below his waist, for he boasted no great coat, ran home to Camden Town as hard as he could pelt to be with his family. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, having read all the newspapers and spent the rest of the evening with his banker's book, went to his dismal house. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and the frost to find the door. Scrooge walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, Nobody under the bed. Nobody in the closet. He closed the door. He locked himself in. He double locked himself in and took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
Molly! 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 I could have sworn I saw. Humbug. Molly's been dead these 7 years. Humbug, all humbug. What I need is a good night. What? What's that? Someone's in the wine cellar. The door's locked and double locked. Something's coming. Something's coming closer. Outside my door. Bah! I won't believe it still. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Molly? What do you want with me?
I want much of you, Ebenezer.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right then. Who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley, but you're dead. You died 7 years ago, and you expect me to believe that?
7 years ago, this very night.
You are a ghost then.
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer.
Yes, because you see, a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef or a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There may be more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
But why do you walk the earth, Jacob? Why do you come to me?
You see, it is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk about among his fellow men, and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share but might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard, by my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses, perhaps.
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. I'm sorry to say you have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me. Jacob.
Comfort? Comfort I have none to give. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me. 7 years, Ebenezer. 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space or regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused?
Jacob, don't take on so now, Jacob.
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'll listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob, now.
Ebenezer, I'm here to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob. You were always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thanks, Jacob, but go on. How shall I escape? I'm afraid, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the only chance?
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us. Remember, when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Where do you think you're going? Marley! Jacob Marley!
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed, fully dressed. Suddenly, the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child, as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. The arms were long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I have come for you.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold me?
I am that spirit.
What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
No, not out of the window. Why, I can't do that. I'm not a spirit. I'm a rather old and shriveled mortal. I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What's become of the city? And there's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been. Do you recognize this countryside?
I know every inch of it. Every rock. Every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
That building. I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Strange you should have forgotten it so many years. Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family, alone.
Yes, I see. I know that boy. Oh, I was so lonely. Poor boy.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what is that on your cheek?
It's nothing. Nothing at all.
Come, Ebenezer Scrooge. Let us see another Christmas. Come, give me your hand. Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here. I learned business here.
From who?
Why, from old Fezziwig, that's who. Old Fezziwig, bless his heart, old Fezziwig. I learned everything from him.
Everything? Everything, Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, and more. I even became in time. Well, never mind.
A better businessman?
Yes.
Than Fezziwig?
Yes?
That is to say, you made more money?
Much more. And what's wrong with that? Making money is not against the law, is it?
7 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
I suppose you'll want the whole day off tomorrow.
Yes, please, sir.
Do you think that's fair?
It's only once a year, sir.
Well, sir, I will tell you this. You shall not go home tonight. Yes, we will stay right here in this office. Do you hear that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You will stay right here and enjoy the party.
Scrooge saw tables, all loaded with roasts and cider, mince pie and beer. A merry group of people, Mr. Fezziwig being the heart of the party, inviting one and all to have. His wife looking resplendent. He saw his younger self, enjoying with his old friends.
That carefree young man, with the light heart and the happy smile. Do you recognize him?
Yes, merciful heaven. How happy I was then.
A small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks so full of joy.
Small matter? Small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that. It's not that, Spirit. You see, old Fezivig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks and in things so tiny that it's impossible to count him up. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost,
What is the matter?
nothing at all.
Something, I think.
No.
Speak.
Well, only it's just that I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit. That's all.
My time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. Here, in this little room with a fair young girl by your side. Do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
No. Spare me this.
You're older now. A man in the prime of life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy. The eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please.
She knows it too, that girl by your side. There are tears in her eyes.
It matters little to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed toward you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
Was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better, at least, to be happy. You're changed. You were another man then.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser? Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any value in your sight. So I release you from your promise.
Belle!
Oh, at first it may cause you pain to lose me, a very brief pain, but soon it will be dim, like a half-remembered dream, an unprofitable dream, and you will be glad to be awake from such a dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen, Ebenezer, for the love of whom you once loved.
That's enough. Show me no more. Take me home.
These were the shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. And do not blame me.
Spirit, I can't bear any more. Leave me. Haunt me no more. Take me back.
On the stroke of one, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his own bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second spectre would appear. Being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing, and consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light which seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch, in shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in!
Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man.
Who?
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
You're different from the other spirit. You're tall, almost a giant, and that great torch you carry.
Its light pours into the homes of rich and poor alike.
Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learned a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe.
Where have you brought me, Spirit?
A humble dwelling in a humble street.
It's humble enough.
Yet there is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that woman and the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for the Christmas dinner. And there, assisting her, is her daughter Belinda. And the young man, with a fork in the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit. And the two little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge, listen.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha, my dear. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we did a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind, so long as you're here now. Sit ye down before the fire and have a warm, Lord bless ye.
Where's Father?
He's been to the church with Tiny Tim. They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is. And sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Mother, you mustn't even think of such a thing.
Here they are.
There's Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father and Tim.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we are so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold. And better.
I like church, Mother. Oh, they sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my son.
Are we ready to eat, Mother? Come on, let's eat.
Yes, children. We're all ready. Come take your plates now. And Bob, wait your turn. There's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you take care of Tiny Tim.
Ah, now, my dears, shall we say grace?
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved.
Oh, no, kind spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child, will die.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas to all of us, and God bless us.
Amen.
God bless us, everyone.
And now, to Mr. Scrooge. I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast indeed, who pays you all of 15 shillings a week. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children, Christmas Day.
Well, it should be on Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
My dear, it's Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, but not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And I say, God bless him too, Mother and everyone.
There was nothing of high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty and had known, very likely, the insides of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went, who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch. Dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw, and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouse, hospital, and jail, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door, and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night, and it was strange too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark! The hour has come.
Oh no, not yet. Not yet. There are still more things I wish to learn.
These you will learn from still another spirit. Still another spirit, Ebenezer.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in his bed, in his dressing gown and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld a third spirit, a solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadows of things that have not happened but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, ghost of the future. I fear you more than any spectre I've ever seen. Yet, I know your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on. Lead on. The night's waning fast and the time's precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again? Here to Bob Cratchit's home. But it's not the same. What? Why is it so quiet? So very quiet here.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son. My little son. Tiny Tim, I loved him so.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Martha.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to. And yet, I've known him to walk very fast indeed, with Tiny Tim on his shoulder. But he was light to carry. And his father loved him, so it was no trouble. No trouble at all. Bob!
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father dear?
It's God's will, Bob.
I am trying to understand it, my dear. My son. My little son, Tiny Tim. And I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that? That Tiny Tim may live. Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven, a churchyard, overrun by grass and weed, choked with too much bedding, desolate, lonely, crumbling gravestones. Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only, huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? Ah, now I see it. There's writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge! Oh, no, Spirit. No, hear me. I am not the man that I was. Why show me this if I'm past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows you've shown me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit, oh, go on, tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit, I promise on my knees. Why? What's this? It's my own drape. Oh, I'm home, in my own bed, in my own room. And the sun? The sun's shining, it's clear, it's bright, no fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious, glorious. Hey, boy!
Yes, sir?
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why? It's Christmas Day.
Ha ha! Christmas Day? Then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Heavens be praised.
What's that, sir?
Listen, my lad, you know where the poulterer is in the next street?
I certainly do.
Ha! An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now, sir.
Ah, that's wonderful. Go down there, will you? And tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along, hurry, my lad. Here, wait a minute. Here's £50 for your trouble.
Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
Ha ha! And a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Woohoo, woohoo. Hello. Gentlemen, how do you do? I hope you succeeded in your fundraising for the poor yesterday. Merry Christmas to you both.
Mr. Scrooge? I beg your pardon?
Mr. Scrooge?
That's my name, not very pleasant to hear, I'm afraid. Let me change that. First, I beg your pardon for my neglect of your cause. Second, will you allow me to donate?
Why, Mr. Scrooge?
Are you serious?
Not a farthing less. Includes a great many back payments, you see.
Thank you, sir.
We don't know what to say.
Don't say anything. Just come and see me about future contributions. Will you do that?
We will.
Thank ye. Much obliged. Bless you.
And off went Scrooge to his nephew's house.
Fred.
Uncle?
Merry Christmas, Fred. May I come to dinner?
May you what?
If you can stand me, that is.
On one condition.
What's that?
That it be not just this Christmas, but all the rest. Dinner with your family on Christmas Day, Uncle.
With all my heart. I'll be there tonight. Now, there is one other place I must go.
Then we'll see you at dinner.
Our new Mr. Scrooge makes his way to the Cratchits' humble home and finds that they are all gathered around an enormous turkey.
Now then, Cratchits, where did you get that turkey?
We don't know. It just came. A strange boy brought it.
Oh, it's big enough. You'll eat it all and you'll oversleep and be late to work, Bob Cratchit.
No, Mr. Scrooge.
Don't contradict me. No, Mr. Scrooge. Let me tell you this, Bob Cratchit. I am not going to stand for this sort of behavior 1 minute longer. And therefore...
Mr. Scrooge.
And therefore, I am about to raise your salary.
What?
Got you there, didn't I? Take that. Raise, yes, raise, up.
What? What are you saying?
A Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas than I have ever given you. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to help you and your family. Tiny Tim.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him. May that be truly said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.